I really like Wizardry Variants Daphne. I really like it. It is one of my favorite Gacha games, I think. It has been probably the game I've been playing the most because it's just so easy to play because it's on mobile and also now it's on Steam. Yeah, no, I really like the game and I I have streamed it. I don't know if I could stream more because I would just be grinding and everything, but I today I want to talk about it. I just really want to talk about it, and I want to share with you why I like it so much. And I'm not really trying to sell you on it. I just really want to gush about how much I love this game. So back about, I believe, early November, I was seeing a game kind of pop up in my recommended, or not really a game, but a video. And the video was, let me pull it up. What does a horror gacha game look like? And I will link this below because even to this day, it's a pretty good introduction to how the game is. Pretty spoiler free. So if you are interested, you know, seeing if the game's kind of for you and to have as supplementary material, I'd recommend giving this video a watch. So I watched this video and I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. And there's a test I do with Gacha RPGs where do I like the boss song? And that's not the most accurate description of it because this goes back to Grand Blue Fantasy. And I remember looking up Grand Blue Fantasy. I don't know what initially got me to look it up, but when I looked it up, I found a video of the Ultimate Bahamut fight from back in the day. This is like 2017, 2018. And I clicked on it, and it was featuring a dark team. The HP values were really low back then, I think, like maybe 9,000. And they had Summer Zoe on the team with her alternate outfit. And I remember seeing this video, and I immediately fell in love with Grand Blue Fantasy. I remember that was my gacha game for the longest time, and then I just kind of dwindled off. But that sold me so hard. Like, I wanted Summer Zoe, I wanted to fight Ultimate Bahamut, and I started that grind. I immediately got into the game. I figured out, can I play this? Started playing on desktop, I think, because you could. It's so weird how they do with Grand Blue Fantasy, where you click on a website, you can thankfully click English, but then you have to sign in with an account. I think I just use Google or whatever to make an account with Flag Games, and then with that, you could play Grand Blue Fantasy. And I remember grinding that game so much, and just trying to build up weapon decks. I forget, since you need a weapon grid. I think it was a weapon grid, because I really wanted to participate. And I remember I wanted to build the dark team so badly, and I wanted to get Summer Zoe, and I wanted to get her cool alternate outfit because, and I just loved like the chibi look of the game. I don't know. Oh man, like, oh, those were the days. That was so good. I love that game. Got a little too much for me right now, though. I just think everything's gotten a little too bloated. And also, when Ultimate Bahamut no longer became the end raid, but then it became just some pretty boy. And yes, I'm just gonna call him some pretty boy because that's all he is to me. Yeah, no, I kind of just lost interest in the game. And for a while, you know, just didn't. Limbus did actually fill that hole for a while that Grand Blue Fantasy kind of left. And Limbus has been a lot of fun. That's the game that I try to log in every week that I can. Doing my runs, doing my mirror dungeons. And yeah, no, I've been playing gacha games for a long time, trying out various ones. I mean, the latest one, Musume, horse gambling, you know how that goes. That's fun for the whole family now, isn't it, everyone? But yeah, I did the test. I looked up. Sorry for that tangent. No, actually, I'm not. But anyways, I looked at Wizardry and I was like, okay, what's their big boss song, essentially? And I see the fights for the end of the first dungeon, the first abyss. I see the boss, I listen to the music, and I just see how the fight generally goes. And I thought to myself, holy shit, this is badass. And I get those feelings that I did when I watched that Ultimate Bahamut fight with the Dark Team. Except Ultimate Bahamut's hyping me up. This was kind of filling me with a sense of dread. And that was really cool. I really like that sensation. Like, this was kind of a desperate fight, and you were winning by the skin of your teeth. And after that, I was just sold in the game, and we who was we in this? I was going to play this game, and I was going to force you guys to watch it at some point, so it eventually became a we. So something I want to bring up first. There was something that actually made me not want to try this game, and that was it being a first-person RPG. So my first exposure to first-person RPGs that I can remember, or the one that had the biggest impact on me, I should say, is Digimon Dusk and Dawn. And I love that game. I love grinding it out. But something about that game always felt a little off. And it was only like maybe 2019, 2020, somewhere around that time, because I played as a kid, but it was only like at that point where I realized, like, oh, this is what I didn't like about this game. I loved the sprite work, I loved the combat, but what I didn't love was that I didn't get to see my team perform the actions. That to me made me lose my immersion. Like, I love seeing the animations for attacks, but not seeing my characters, you know, do any motions essentially to perform those actions. Like, it just took me out of the gameplay, kind of. So while combat itself was fun, the overall experience of combat left me wanting more, but it was something that the game could never give me. And I think from other like first-person RPGs I've seen, where it's kind of the same, where you don't see your characters perform the actions, but they give you really good animations for the attacks. But to me, that never felt worth it. But then again, I think I was just looking for that one game that was for me. And I think now that I have Wizardry, another side tangent to the side tangent, now I think that I have Wizardry that just fills that niche for me. I feel like I can go back to other first-person RPGs and play them and just be like, oh, you know, this is cool. Which is really weird to say. Like, I don't know why, but having this game and it just being so good to me opens me up to other games in the genre. Even if they have that problem I had originally, it's like Wizardry went and fixed it almost. So now, instead of just having my brother tell me about all the first-person shooting guy intensive games, I can actually play them now. Yeah, no, I kind of want to bring that up because that was, you know, it's a gacha game. I'm expecting to get fucked regardless. But yeah, no, that was one of the big things, was that it was a first-person RPG, and I've always had hesitance to do those. But with Wizardry, seeing my characters perform actions and then also reacting to being hit, and various things like that, just made the overall experience better. Because I've played this game for, I think, at least 300 hours now, and there have been moments where I sit back and go, do I actually enjoy this game? And I start thinking, like, you know, about the different aspects about the game, and then like it also being first-person RPG, and usually the feeling's only there for a minute or two, and I go, yeah, no, I fucking enjoy this game after going through and thinking about this game and what it offers and what it is. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying the game. I'm having a good time. And I can say that probably Abenes is like the thing that made me stick around, you know. And just as well, because I have that one character that I really like, I'm also then able to look at the other characters, like, who else do I really enjoy now? Because I have now that almost like beacon anchor point, I guess you could say, where, okay, now that I have this one character that I enjoy, like, thoroughly, absolutely love, I can then look at the other characters and go, okay, you're cool, you do this, you're great, you know. I'm not too preoccupied with like, oh, which one's the one character that I really enjoy, because I already have that anchor point, Abaneus. She's one of my number one. I think she is the number one character right now. The new Samurai Girl is probably number 2 right now, just because of aesthetics. But Abaneus overall is just someone I really enjoy. So party composition can be a little rough for me because there's 4 characters that I find just really cool, or they're just really useful. Launaville being one of them. Alice is another one. And my MC being the character that you can't remove, but I don't know. I just really like the MC because they have the ability to be any class. You know, they can fill a lot of niches, and as well, they also just have a bunch of utility because they're able to have the abilities from all the other jobs or classes. They can heal debuffs, in a pinch they can heal. They can even debuff the enemy if you need to. I usually carry, if I'm a melee class, I'll usually carry a staff just in case, like, oh, I need to do some emergency healing, or, you know, but usually I don't debuff with my MC, but I will heal and sometimes buff up with them as well. Abaneus is that cornerstone of my party. I try to always have her in, and I do dread the day that they release an evil character that doesn't mesh well with Abaneus that really wants to be in the front row, because I have 2 characters, Launaville, or actually no, Abaneus isn't, well, no, it's only if that girl, like, Launaville buffs up the front line if they're a good or neutral character. So if they release a frontline evil character that I really like, and they don't want to play with any of the good characters, that's going to be an issue, because I can potentially remove Launaville, but Abaneus is kind of staying in the front. And you could say, oh, you know, you just won't get that buff. It's whatever. And I say to you, that's true, but I would also like to have the buff applied. But if it comes down to that, yeah, Abaneus and them are just gonna have to deal with no buff, and I don't think anyone's gonna be happy about that, except for me, because I'll have 2 of my favorite characters in the same party. It's kind of the thing where if you have your favorite, you know, you kind of try to make it work, or you try to make things, you know, fill out all the gaps around them. I really like YIIK, but they released another character that I came to enjoy named Shelia, I believe is her name, or no, it's like something even longer. It's an elf name. We don't need to know it. They released an elf mage that I think is really cool. They're just a really strong damage dealer because of their ability. That when they go below half MP, they fall asleep. But every turn that they're asleep, after reaching half MP, they'll do like a big nuke attack on a single enemy. And I replaced YIIK, despite YIIK probably being my top girl for a while. Even though I invested so much into Launaville. YIIK just, to me, could just stand on her own. And also was really helpful when, like, in Abyss 1, we fought a lot of undead enemies towards the end. Just having that extra damage. And also, I just thought she was really cool. She was just a joy to have in the party. You wouldn't make her a samurai. Give me an excuse to put her in the front line. Give her the same outfit as the one legendary assassin, or legendary samurai we got right now, and I will put her in a heartbeat. I don't even know what I'm trying to say at this point. I like character, and because I like character, I can enjoy the rest of the game and look at it objectively. Ain't this fun? Can you tell this isn't scripted, but rather there are certain points I want to hit, but then whatever happens after that is, you know, up to the whims of what my mind decides to go to at that very moment. Yeah, this is a very nice and articulate video that you will totally comprehend, because I am gushing about something and we're all just here for the ride, because my mind's like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about this, but also I want to talk about this. And I refuse to write a script because it'll be way too obvious that I'm reading off something. It does not matter how much I practice. It will sound inauthentic. It will sound as if I'm trying to sell you something when I'm not. I just really like this game, and This game makes me feel things. It's just a lot of fun. I like the characters. The combat's great. And yeah, no, I do wish this game had more content. I wish there was even more things. And, you know, I wish that there wasn't a lingering fear that this game will shut down like next week because, you know, this game was released in a very interesting state. It was a little buggy at launch and it continues to be buggy. Players complaining about lack of content. And I don't know. I like this game. I like this game a lot. And I know that if you're not familiar with this game, you're gonna be lost. But then again, if you want to know more about the game, link in the description. Because what I think I was trying to mainly do with this video and all my rambling would just say I love this game. And like for combat, an example, I like that debuffs matter. I like that buffs matter. That's a big thing in Shin Megami Tensei, and I do kind of appreciate that you do need a bit more strategy, that you can kind of unga bunga fights, but you can take a more tactical approach if you don't have like the power to just, you know, steamroll everything. The characters, I like how they look. Like I said, Abeneus is my favorite, and I really like this new samurai, and just seeing what they gave the samurai and the ninja makes me more excited for like future classes, and also when they raise the level cap and give more skills to players for their classes. New weapons, maybe they'll have added effects. I just want to see what the developers can push out, and I want it to be good. I want it to be great. I want it to be something that I can get sucked into because I really enjoy this game. That's the only way to put it. And again, I didn't want to sell like a pitch or whatever. I just kind of wanted to gush about it. And I do think that this game overcoming these initial hurdles is like just something I really love, that this game was in a rough state, but here they are like gradually coming back, you know, pushing out content, trying to keep players happy. And as well, the quality of life updates they've done have been really great. Like one thing that's not mentioned in the video because it wasn't a feature back then was now units have potential to have a second skill that you can inherit. So you have to pick one or the other, but typically the secret skill that you can inherit from the character is a lot more valuable in most cases. And I think that's really cool that we have like a somewhat free-to-play way to upgrade some pretty important skills, and some skills that we may not thought viable because, you know, they're so low level, because they're higher level and have a lot more efficiency and potential to do their job. It might change up builds and give us more variety in combat, and that's what I want. That's what I like. Like, I like how the game is currently, and I want more of it. It's just like Labyrinth of the Demon King, where the base is good, but I can see like vaguely just like what even more of this game is, and it's beautiful. And that's what I want to get across, was this is a game that hope pills me, if you will, that just makes me excited to play. Even if I'm doing just simple grinding, it's building up to something. And even if like the next abyss comes out, you know, my equipment becomes just a little redundant because, you know, power creep, whatever. Like, I still have a good lead on the next abyss because of all the grinding I did. It's like when a new expansion comes out for an MMO, I have the gear ready, and yeah, it will be replaced eventually, but my transition to it will be so much smoother. And as well, I'll have an easier time grinding those early levels. That'll hopefully help me to do the tougher encounters, and hopefully these new skills that I get, you know, will give me more options in combat. And yeah, like, it could be boiled down to, oh, take less damage and, you know, deal more damage. But I do hope that in combat, we just get more options on how to do those things. How we could do like a potential, oh, you place a time bomb effect on a character where instead of, you know, blowing up, it heals them when they reach a certain point of health, and then it also gives them some protection, or maybe even a very expensive like skill that lets the unit have one follow-up move when they get critical health or whatever, that before they die they're allowed to do one last hit, things like that. And yeah, these don't sound balanced, but I'm just, you know, kind of throwing things out there because, again, this game can go in a lot of ways, but I want it to just give players more variety, and that, you know, all the classes we have purpose, have utility, because to me right now they do. That yes, some are arguably better than others, But if like you want a thief, which some people are saying are like the worst class because now your main character can do all the lock picking or whatever, I still think thief has a purpose. And it might not be as optimal as the other ones, but if you like thief, I mean, just play it. Like, I think as long as the devs make it so that every class, you know, feels good, it doesn't have to be the best thing, but as long as it feels good to play and that you feel like, you know, it has a purpose, I think that's a win. And again, I want to see interesting team comps. I want to see, you know, some people make some interesting builds, because there's someone on the Discord right now that I'm in for Wizardry that is trying to make like a half physical, half magic MC that utilizes an inherited skill from a collab character. And they had a weapon release that did decent physical, that has decent physical power, I should say, and decent physical or decent magical power, excuse me. And this is just from one release of a character that this person thought of this build. And I think it's really cool to have someone be truly a magical split where, yeah, they can deal decent magic damage, and then when they run out of MP, you know, they can just go and default to their physical skills with that one weapon if they wanted to, or they could switch to something else. But again, this game is just so good. I wish there's more of it. I want more from it. And I hope they can keep going for 10 years, honestly. And I think that this is what I wanted to share. Just me frantically saying how much I love it, how I see the game in the future just being a fun time, and that it's hard, but you got options and you can create something truly unique for yourself with your party. And honestly, that's about it. That's what I wanted to share. So to anyone who stuck around this long, I know this has been like a winding road, and maybe I didn't really cover, you know, maybe you think I didn't really cover things that I liked in this, and you know, that's completely fair because this was a ramble, this was unscripted, but I don't know, it just feels good to just say out loud to everyone, I love this game, and even if I can't explain it properly, I hope my energy, my passion got to you, and you kind of go, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I would say these same things about my game. The same kind of energy, same kind of passion. And I hope that brings you back to that. And really, that's it. That's what I wanted to say today. That's what this video is for. It's just a scream from the top of my lungs. I love Wizardry Variants Daphne. It had a rough launch, but here's hoping to 10 years because I like the game. I want to keep growing. I want to be successful. And I hope more people get to enjoy it. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.